Nick, let's dive a little deeper. Tell me about what happened on that last possession.
Well,
what went wrong?
Let's do exactly what Kevin Durant said. Let's go to the film. Let's look at exactly what happened on this play. We'll slow it down for you so you guys can see it, because I don't blame Kerr for not taking the timeout initially. You want it in transition. So they get it. They get the rebound. They get the ball in Kevin Durant's hands. And coming across half court, he's going to see... he knows right there he can pull up for three, or right there he could have pulled up from about 19 feet. He decides to go a little too deep. Once he goes too deep, he hits Clay. Once Clay is trapped here, that's when Steve Kerr has to be running onto the court screaming, asking for a timeout. You can't ask Klay Thompson, who hasn't made a shot since 3 minutes left in the third quarter, to be in that position. Steph had been on fire in the third quarter. Kevin Durant had been unguardable this series. KD can either pull up from three, or if he wants to go for the tie, right there. There's no one guarding him. He got too deep, and then he gave it to a player who had taken one shot in the last 15 minutes. That's a bad play. And Kerr, once he sees it breaking down, what did we see Brad Stevens do, by the way, when he saw a play breaking down Game 3 against Philly, the Marcus Morris possession? He runs on the court and called timeout. Like, Kerr could have called timeout mid-possession. He didn't. It's a bad play all around.
Yeah, I got to give Steve Kerr a little break here. I'm not going to be as hard as you. The Brad Stevens thing, they were totally lost in that situation.
Okay.
Not as this. The Golden State had decided on the shot, we're not going to call timeout. So the coaches already told them we're not going to call timeout. So if he interrupts, it's a chaotic situation, and it doesn't provide a positive vibe for the players. KD's got to be able to shoot that ball. They're only down by 2. It's not a matter of getting too deep, all right? He's got to be able to take that shot, or he's got to be a little more aware. Now, KD is not LeBron. He's not reading the floor, because anyone and their mother knows you cannot give the ball to Clay unless he's ready to shoot. And in this game, Clay would not even been a viable option at the end of the game. He was only a shell of himself, had no type of bounce on his jump shot. Like, he hadn't made a shot you talked about since 3 minutes into the third quarter. So, no, KD's got to be able to take that shot. KD said in an interview on Bill Simmons' podcast that he took the torch from LeBron in game number 3 by making that dagger 3.
And this is an opportunity.
Well, where's the torch?
And here's the other thing. One of the reasons, because the Warriors only had one timeout, one of the reasons you don't take the timeout is so if you miss, you're only down 2. If you miss and foul, assuming the Rockets don't make both, you can then take your timeout, advance it to half court, you get 2 shots at it. That only works if you're taking the shot with 3 or more seconds left. They put themselves in a position there where they waited so long, where that timeout was going to be wasted, as it ultimately was.
I thought Kevin, because what happened to him in the second quarter, where James Harden stripped him in the open court dribbling the ball. Kevin Durant is not great in the backcourt. He is used to either one of 4 players on the Warriors dribbling it up, getting the ball to half court. Give him the ball about 35 to 30 feet, and he can either take 1 to 4 dribbles and get to a certain area on the court. That's what we've seen with Kevin Durant. We have not seen him typically get the ball in the backcourt like LeBron, bring it up, and be able to make all the right decisions with the basketball.
Was it a play? I know it wasn't a play called, but were they working through a play? I mean, was Steph or KD supposed to have that last shot, have the ball in their hands at the very end?
Of course. Like, Steve Kerr trusts the guys to read the situation and believe that Steph or KD would get a shot, or a wide open Clay shot. Not Clay asking him
without
to do something.
his feet set.
But you mentioned LeBron. I want to say something here. Go ahead, C.
Steve Kerr, Jenna, that's a good question, because you would think, conventional wisdom, that they had a play called. But when Houston shoots the ball, they get the rebound. Steve Kerr is waving for them to push it up the court. I didn't see him call a play, though. They were just going to go motion offense, because you asked the question, did they call a play? They might have called something, but they didn't run a play. So that's what you're seeing. You don't see them being organized enough to run a play, and Steve Kerr is encouraging them to go up the court at pace.
And watch Steph here. Watch Steph here once the ball goes to Klay Thompson. I don't know what Steph's doing, because he's just causing another defender to go near the ball handler.
Don't look like a play to me.
It doesn't look like a play, but I want to say something here. We either, as a collective media, need to change the way we cover LeBron, or include some other folks in it. If LeBron's the best player in the world, the second and third best players were in that game, Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. One of those 2 guys got to get a shot. One of those two guys has to make a play for their team. Because and by the way, I'm saying LeBron's the best
Not
player.
unless you give the ball to a wide open
Wide-open shooter, of course. No. That's why I said take a shot or make a play. Kevin Durant didn't make a play. Steph Curry wasn't involved in the play. We can't just have one set of rules for one guy. Like, I'm not asking Trevor Ariza or Draymond Green to go do this. It's the defending finals MVP and the only ever unanimous MVP who were just not doing what they needed to do on that possession.
And Kevin Durant knew it as soon as that play was over and said it afterwards. I should have taken that shot. I should have seen that Clay's feet weren't set. All right, let's take a break. Coming up, why doesn't Aaron Rodgers think Dez Bryant would fit in Green Bay? It's next on First Things First.